Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 14th of August. The first important news that is centered to replace Microsoft operating system with Maya operating system. This is an indigenously developed operating system specifically that Ministry of Defense is utilizing and using it across the whole vertical. Second, that is parliamentary panel report on Supreme Court High Court judges vacations. Third, that is Supreme Court purpose permanent security units for all court. We have seen that the recent incident of firing has been reported in several high courts and the part of the lower courts. Now Supreme Court has taken the cognizance of it. Second last, that is India China to hold the corps commander talk, and the last is an editorial erasing maculae mark. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session with the first news that is centered to replace Microsoft operating system with Maya OS. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu, important for General Studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. So what are the important decisions that was taken by the center? Specifically, the Ministry of Defense has announced that it will replace the Microsoft Windows operating system. This is an OS which is used in system to operate. So as of now, most of the system that we are using is a Microsoft based Windows, right? So Microsoft की जो Windows है उस operating system को replace करके Ministry of Defense ने Maya OS, which is an industry developed OS, will be utilized for all the verticals that is working and operating at the Ministry of Defense. And Ministry has said that by the end of the year, it will ensure that all systems are having Maya OS. So the move is attempt to improve the part of security with the Ministry computer system against the malware and ransomware attack. So there have been some reported with regards to malware that is frequently reported. And even if you look at the example which we have seen in the Ames case, that was also a ransomware attack where the data of the patient were fabricated and it was just taken away with some of the attacks in the server. So considering the fact, now the government has taken the cognizance and they will be replacing this with the indigenously developed Maya OS. The new OS is currently being rolled out only in the Ministry of Defense computers and not in the 3 services. So government will gradually look to expand this to other part of the services, that is the tri services. Now what is Maya OS? I have already made a discussion to this, but just to give you the brief about the Maya OS, this can be relevant directly for the prelims examination here and there. So it's based on the Ubuntu Linux. What is Ubuntu? It's a popular operating system that runs on computer, server and other devices. Now this Maya has been developed by the team of experts from DRDO. That is completely indigenous organization. DRDO के अलावे the Center for Development and Advanced Computing, जिसे CDAC भी कहते हैं, and National Information Center. This was developed within 6 months. Let us say that it is easy to use and the user interface looks similar to that of Windows. So there will be no problem in the operationalization and handling of this OS. The new OS will be backed by the protection system called Checkerview. For every operating system, they need to have a mandatory part of the security, which is their antivirus, we call it. तो यहाँ पे Checkerview के नाम की जो protection system होगी वो incorporate की जाएगी. That will be a built-in feature. Now, how effective will be the new Maya operating system? So some of the features as already known to you via the discussion of the earlier session, but मैं आपको कुछ और इसमें add कर दूँ. While the 2 operating system that will be there, this will interact with the part of hardware. The Maya and the Windows differ significantly from the other. It runs on the random access memory, that is RAM, and gives device instruction how to perform a specific task. The Maya OS offer the part of features such as the cloud storage integration, full disk inscriptions, digital signature, biometric authentication, and features named as checker view. Now, the cyber threat and the malware. So, India switched to Ubuntu based Maya OS come at the time when cyberspace is increasing with the part of vulnerability and malware ransom attack is there. Now, here and there, the cases were reported across different ministries. Specifically, Ministry of Defense has taken the due diligence in this regard. Now, almost 3-year-old, the cyber attack was also made by the government officers. Well, and even some think tank was also part of the attack that India has witnessed. So this will provide a foolproof security to the system, which is a matter of concern for the national security. Now moving ahead, Parliamentary panel report on Supreme Court, High Court judges vacation. This has become an issue of debate, not only for this time. Several occasions, government has been coming up with the rules that the vacation time need to be reduced out to ensure that the pending cases which is there on the higher number should be reduced. So this particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, that is structure, organization and functions of executive and judiciary. So Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Grievances, Law and Justice have recently come up with the report. The report number is titled 133. This is something that you have to mention specifically in mains examination if you're writing. If you're able to recall, it's well and good. ताकि आप से Parliamentary Standing Committee के बारे में भी लिख सकते हैं. So the report was there on judicial process and the reform to both houses of the Parliament. The report highlights that in order to reduce the pendency cases in Supreme Court, High Court, there's need to have a multi-pronged strategy, right? Now, the support stated that the vacation is in the part of the judiciary और जो colonial legacy continue हुई है vacations को लेकर के, that should be reduced or it should be removed considering the fact that the number of cases in India is on the higher side. Now about the report, जो कि 133 report है on the subject, that is the judicial process and the reform, the parliamentary panel has reiterated the suggestions made by the Chief Justice of India, former Chief Justice of India, R.M. Lodha. He was known for as reformist in the part of the judiciary और vacation पे भी इन्होंने अपनी राय रखी है. So what does the committee said? The committee was of the opinion, I'm talking about the Justice Lodha, he said that instead of the judges going on vacation at one go, there should be a break or one by one basis पे vacations पे जाने की जरूरत है ताकि पूरे साल कोर्ट की फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर रहे और किसी भी तरह की जो पाइल ऑन हो रही केसेस को उसे रोका जा सके. So instead, like for Supreme Court, High Court and for the lower court, it should not go for the vacation in one go. Alternate times पे vacations दी जा सकती है. This will ensure that courts are functioning constantly and there are benches that is present to hear the cases. Now the report which actually was highlighted by the parliamentary panel, they have said that the Department of Justice has stated that the court vacations, particularly the summer vacation, which is 7 weeks, इससे पहले 2013 से पहले ये 10 वीक की हुआ करती थी, इसे और कम करने की जरूरत है. This was ensured basically colonial time में अगर बात करें to give a stress buster, a part of a relaxations to the judiciary, और उस टाइम पे इतनी cases pending नहीं होती थी. Now we've seen that a lot of cases are pending in the end. तो उस चीज को करने के लिए, पूरे करने के लिए we need workforce. And if judges number are not increasing, we can have less number of leaves so that there's some part of improvement that can be visible. Now, current court vacations की अगर बात करें, if you see Supreme Court, the current working of the Supreme Court is 193 days, High Court function actually 210 days, and trial court function for 245 days. So this is among the 365 days that the court is actually there, right? तो पूरे साल में ये number of functioning days. The Supreme Court break its annual vacation, which is typically for 7 weeks, ending in the May. This is what has been there. और जुलाई में कोर्ट को खोली गई थी. The Supreme Court has also taken a week-long break for Dussehra and Diwali and 2 weekends at the end of the December. So winter break, there are a lot of other vacations breaks that goes on for the Supreme Court. And now considering the fact जितने cases pending है उसमें ये number को थोड़ी reduce की जा सकती है. There can be an opinion based question also, so you have to adequately prepare the answer. Now recommendations by the report, जो recommendations दी गई हैं उसमें क्या क्या चीजें बताई गई है. 9 में भी लॉ कमीशन का रिपोर्ट है 230th रिपोर्ट दैट हैज कॉल्ड फॉर द जुडिशियल रिफॉर्म, और इस वेकेशंस को 10 to 15 डेज तक करने की बात की गई थी, कंसिडरिंग दैट बैकलॉग के जो केसेस हैं उनको जल्द से जल्द बेसिकली वी शुड कम टू द रेजोल्यूशंस. In 2000, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government has appointed the committee to the criminal justice reform. Justice V.S. Malimat, जो कि former chief justice थे कर्नाटका और केरला हाई कोर्ट के, they have also submitted the report and he said that it should be reduced to 21 days. जितनी भी vacations मिलती है उसको 21 days के लिए ही करने की जरूरत है. And Malimat committee has suggested that Supreme Court should work for 206 days and High Court should work for 231 days. So this was the actual recommendations that was given by V.S. Malimat committee. Now moving ahead, SC proposed permanent security unit for all courts, something important for general studies paper 2, that is structure, organization and functions of executive and judiciary. Now we have seen that the part of attack and even if you see the part of violence that were reported in the lower court and even in the high court, Supreme Court ने इस चीज को concern दिखाते, they have raised the concern of the recent incident of the firing in Delhi court. The Supreme Court has underlined the need for full plan security. Now this will ensure a level of filter and ensure that the court premises are adequately safeguarded. The Supreme Court has proposed that a permanent security unit will be deployed to the court premises or the court complexes in the country, recalling the incident of gunfire in Voiceland as a part of the court premises, which is something which is unbearable, right? Places where justice is delivered, it cannot be such suspicious कि किसी भी तरह की कोई attack हो रही है. The apex court said that the sanctity of the court as a space where justice is administered, the rule of law is upheld, it is non-negotiable कि इस तरह के incident वहाँ पे report की जाए. Now concern, the part of the cases, if you look at the part, I mean safety is again a big concern. The lawyers again in questions, court staff, litigants, general public, ये सारे लोगों ने concern raise किए कि अगर इस तरह से security रहेगी तो कई बार it create a problem for the judiciary also, और premises में इस तरह की problem हो सकती है. There are a lot of tussle that on goes between the victim and the culprit, तो वहाँ पे भी कुछ ऐसे incident हो सकते हैं और ultimate बहुत सारे losses को भी report की जा सकती है. Now कोर्ट ने क्या डायरेक्टिव्स दिया है? This court has asked the high courts, Supreme Court ने high courts को कहा to prepare a security plan in consultation with the principal home secretaries which are assigned to look into the part for the security of the state, DGPs जो कि head होते हैं पुलिस के, पुलिस कमिश्नर्स को डायरेक्शन दिया है कि जो सिक्योरिटी प्लान्स हैं वो एनविसाज करें और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करें at the earliest. The bench has said that the security outright indicates strengthening the sources for manpower and the other part. The armed and unarmed personnel of the supervisory officers for each unit, minimum term mode for the deployment of the manpower, list of duties and additional financial benefit will be there. Special module for training and sensitivity of the personnel in matter related to security and so on. Now, even the court has said that there should be technology that should be incorporated. CCTV camera की installations की बात की गई है. This should be laid down in the district-wise basis पे इसको करने की जरूरत है. State government to provide the fund for this. The court also stated that there is a need for digitalization of judicial infrastructure, particularly at the district level. Now, India-China to hold Corps Commander talk, something important which has been pending for almost close to 3 years. Important for general studies paper 2, that is India and its neighborhood relations. Now, India and China are set to hold 19th round of commander level talk at the Chukshul as a part of ongoing efforts to resolve the standoff in the eastern Ladakh. This comes less than a month ahead of the G20 summit, which is going to be scheduled in Delhi. India is the current chair for G20. और यहाँ पे President of China is expected to attend this meeting in person because all G20 members will be present in India. Now, previous talks की अगर बात करें, there was a 18 round of talk that took place in the Choksul Moldo meeting, जहाँ पे 20th अप्रैल 23 को ये सारी बातें की गई थी. संघाई कॉर्पोरेशंस में डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री की मीटिंग भी हुई. But there was no conclusive result that was there, right? Since the commander level talk is ongoing, the two sides had a division of opinion. 5 frictions point थे. from the Galvan to the violence classes in 2020. It's almost 3 years down the line जो इस तरह से इंसिडेंट कंटिन्यू है. Even the Pomscots Lake, the patrolling point PP, Gorkha Hot Spring, these are the region PP15 are again the disputed one. Now Deepsang Plain and Deem Chowk की अगर बात करें, यहाँ fundamental disagreement थी between the two countries where the unanimity was not there in the consensus. I mean even both country was not willing to withdraw their part और कुछ important issues की वजह से ये pending ही चल रही. India has maintained that 2 additional friction points still remain, and India and China has refused to accept it. The legacy issues predating the part of 2020 standoff. G20 summits की अगर बात करें, ahead of G20 summit in Delhi, that is scheduled for September 9 and 10. The Prime Minister of India and President of China are scheduled to attend the meeting. They have actually, they are planning to meet in Johannesburg, 22 or 20th August को ये meeting होनी है. I mean that is scheduled for a week down the line. Now, two leaders will have a formal bilateral talk. पहले भी 2019 में हुई है, but again कोई formal meeting या formal announcement इसको लेकर के नहीं की गई. Now, moving ahead with the editorial of the day, erasing the maculae mark, something important for General Studies paper 2. That's the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. Now, recently government has brought in the changes in the criminal justice system. तो उसके बारे में ये पूरी editorial है. They're giving the angle that why the government intention is in a right way. So what I'm going to discuss under this editorial, first to look at the theme. It is the part for revamp in the criminal laws. We'll see the significance of this bill, the pending cases and the conclusion part. Now, Union Home Minister ने bill basically tabled किया लोक सभा में, and this bill aims to replace the Indian Penal Code, the Code on the Criminal Procedures and the Indians Evidence Act, जो कि ब्रिटिश राज की है. It's a colonial law that has continued in India. Now, the government of the day is looking forward to overhaul the part of the criminal system. तो 3 bill लाए गए हैं इसके against. The first is called भारतीय न्याय संहिता, which will be the new form of the Indian Penal Code. Second is भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता 2023. Obviously, it's the year denotes the part of the bill which is stable. और last है भारतीय साक्ष्य bill, right? That's called evidence 2023. So this bill will be sent to the parliamentary committee for scrutiny. Now further scrutiny will be done by the committee, and accordingly the necessary changes that will be recommended by the panel will be incorporated by the ministry itself. Significance of the bill की अगर बात करें, कुछ important features बताए गए हैं कि क्यों ये bill significance. If you see the part, we are erasing the part of colonial legacy which is no more valid considering the fact आज के प्रेजेंट जनरेशन में जो चेंजेस है क्रिमिनल सिस्टम में एंड इवन फॉर द पार्ट ऑफ क्राइम दैट इज ऑपरेटिंग, उसके लिए ज़रूरी है कि सारी चीज़ों को चेंज की जाए. नाउ इट इज़ वेल कैलकुलेटेड. इफ यू सी द पार्ट ऑफ बिल विच इज़ देयर, बिल की जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव है उसे देखने की ज़रूरत है. द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड रीजन नीड टू बी टेकन इन टू कंसिडरेशन. जो भारतीय न्याय संहिता है उसमें चेंजेस की गई है. इफ यू लुक एट द पार्ट, इट वॉज अ कॉलोनियल पार्ट विच वॉज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड 1834 में कमीशन कॉन्स्टिट्यूट की गई थी जो आईपीसी बनाई थी. इट वॉज अंडर द चेयरमैनशिप ऑफ लॉर्ड थॉमस बैगिंगटन मैकुले, राइट. और जुरिस्डिक्शन डिसाइड की गई थी कोर्ट्स की, हाउ द कोर्ट विल फंक्शन, हाउ द पुलिस विल बी ऑपरेटिंग. सो एवरीथिंग विल बी was given in a detail. Now, one important recommendations was made by the commissions on the Indian Penal Code was to enact 1860 and said that courts still continue in the country with some amendment and here तो कुछ important changes ला करके amendment ला करके ऐसे government basically they were actually working. Now the overall changes has been incorporated. Until unless the bill is passed, अभी तो ये bill की format है, bill जब act बनेगी तो ये पूरी तरह से judiciary में भी implement की जाएगी. Now the second move is that these laws are not merely the legal imperative but the part of the philosophical one. It's a journey towards the self-realization, replacing outdated and unjust provision of the law, reflect the ethos and the aspirations of the contemporary India and strive towards fulfilling the contract. Now, 2 more important reasons. Third is that the society, as the society progress, this require a mirror like, जिस तरह से सोसाइटी चेंज हो रही है उसके हिसाब से लॉज को भी चेंज होने की जरूरत है. दैट इज लाइक समथिंग, द चेंजेस दैट शुड बी ब्रॉट इन कंसिडरिंग the changes that is actually there in the society. जो criminal जिस तरह से change हो रहे हैं, part of crime is changing, part of the evidence is changing, तो उसी हिसाब से changes की भी जरूरत है. According to NCRP, the staggering 37% of the prisoners are there were under trial. तो प्रोलॉन्ग पोस्टपोनमेंट की अगर बात करें, जितनी ही पोस्टपोनमेंट की जाएगी क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम में जस्टिस उतनी ज़्यादा डिले होगी. सो वी नीड टू टेक इनटू द कंसिडरेशन जो अंडर ट्रायल है उसकी रेजोल्यूशन जल्द से जल्द कराया जाए. दोज हु आर कल्प्रिट शुड बी अंडर द प्रिजन एंड दोज हु आर नॉट शुड बी मूव अवे, टेकन अवे इन द नॉर्मल लाइफ. Fourth, the Indian criminal justice system is inconsistent, which has led to the confusions. 309 की बात करें, वो क्रिमिनलाइज करती है सुसाइड को. इवन मेंटल हेल्थ एक्ट में प्रिजम्पशंस दी गई हैं दैट प्रिज्यूम दैट इट इज लेड टू द सीवियर स्ट्रेस एंड नीड टू बी टेकन एज अ पनिशमेंट. The conflict were practically decriminalized on the section 309 of the IPC, creating a legal ambiguity as a part of room for interpretations. Now, if you see at the pending cases की अगर बात करें इंडिया में almost 50 million cases हैं जो कि पेंडिंग है. 2/3 of the criminal cases are concentrated at the lower court. और जिस तरह से अगर क्राइम की बात करें, इट इज इंक्रीजिंग डे बाय डे और नंबर ऑफ ट्रायल क्रिमिनल ट्रायल्स भी काफ़ी बढ़ रहे हैं. पेंडेंसी वोंट वर्क फॉर अस. आई मीन द बिल विल एक्चुअली हेल्प. लेट्स सी हाउ इट इज हेल्पिंग. इट इज अगेन प्री मैच्योर टू आइडेंटिफाई एनीथिंग एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. उसकी इंप्लीमेंटेशन के बाद बहुत सारी चीज़ बनेंगी, बट गवर्नमेंट की इंटेंशन ये है कि जो अंडर ट्रायल्स है, जो केसेस पेंडिंग है, उसके रेजोल्यूशंस में ये नई जो सिस्टम है वो हेल्प करेगी. Now, if you look at the part of the cases that is pending for subordinate court, this is 2.76 crore, for High Court 43 lakh, and for Supreme Court it is 54,000. This number might change when I'm discussing और ऐसे cases pending है जो कि इसमें record add होंगे. Now, to conclude the part, the legal reform bring the perfect example for India, which is backing into the laws, and now we'll have an indigenous law, and that law which will incorporate कि जो आज के चेंजिंग सिस्टम है उसके हिसाब से रूल्स बनाए जाए, उस हिसाब से पेनाल्टी प्रोविजंस को रिवाइज किया जा सके. भारतीय न्याय संहिता, इट रिलेट टू रिफॉर्म. इट इज नॉट जस्ट द चेंजिंग नंबर, इट इज ऑल्सो क्लेमिंग टू बी द आइडेंटिटी विद इन. द प्रपोज्ड कोड इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू ब्रिंग अ पैराडाइम शिफ्ट इन द क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम by making it more fair, efficient and responsive to the need of the people, right? This is the main motive that government has actually stated, and this should be the sole idea behind the particular revamp that government is coming with the criminal justice system, right? So this is how you can conclude. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. I mean, uske answers ki baat kare previous session ki. The correct option is A. For second, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice concerning sickle cell disease. आपको बताने कौन से statement correct है. Sickle cell disease is a group of disorder that affects the hemoglobin. Symptoms of sickle cell are caused by the sickle cell of the sickling of the white blood cell. So do check out for the correct options. Second is about the Artemis Mission 1. It's a crewed missions of NASA. It aims to build the platform for human presence on the moon. So do check out for the correct option. We have a lot more other platform where daily questions are published. You can practice that also. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any queries, concern about the part for admissions, test series, courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.